Ciao Irene,
Ciao
thank you
Donata.
for this opportunity to take this interview.
Thanks for inviting me.
Um, can you tell us about you briefly and about PSYCH-K? How
Okay.
did you find PSYCH-K?
Okay. So I'm Irene. I'm a certified PSYCH-K instructor. There are 31 of us in the world, and I have a scientific background. I got a degree in physics. I've been working in space exploration for more than 12 years, and as it happens to many people, I had a trauma in my life that brought me to figure out how to resolve myself, and bit by bit I've learned many methodologies, and finally I landed on PSYCH-K. I was 34 when I had this trauma, and I was 40 when I finally quit my job in space exploration and really decided to do just PSYCH-K in my life. So since then I am a PSYCH-K instructor, and I travel the world to teach and spread this methodology.
Good. So we can say that PSYCH-K really changed your life.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah, entirely. I first of all I resolved this big issue that I had. It was a huge grief, and then a lot of changes started. First, I quit my job, which I think it would have been impossible without PSYCH-K, and I start a new activity from scratch, really from scratch, and so my professional life shifted, my personal life shifted, my relationship first with myself, then with my parents, with my friends, with my partner. So the quality of my relationships is entirely different. Is from a place of peace rather than from a place of challenge and difficulties. My financial situations changed. The place where I live changed. So many things in my life.
Wow.
And on top of everything, my feeling of being successful, in peace, entirely myself.
Wow. So what is PSYCH-K, and can you tell us how it works?
So it's a series of processes that we can use to transform ourselves at a deep level, at a profound level, which means at subconscious level. The subconscious mind is 95% of our behavior, emotions, and feelings. So if we are not able to work at that level, and if we just work at conscious level, which means logical understanding of things, the quality of change is poor, and changing at very deep level requires a lot of time and effort. So PSYCH-K is a process, very simple to ease the transformation at subconscious level.
Right, very interesting. And what are the benefits of PSYCH-K?
It's very wide because subconscious works for 95% of the time, and it's kind of our autopilot. It's the place where our beliefs are located, our memories, our blockages, our self-sabotage mechanisms. So the benefits is actually to get rid of all these patterns that we have. It can be an emotional pattern, it can be a behavioral pattern, it can be a relationship patterns. Most of the time we behave from our patterns. And it's just an autopilot, and we realize that we behave out of patterns when these patterns are self-limiting, self-sabotaging, and negative. But we work out of patterns most of the time. So the benefit is to actually create the patterns that you want to have in your life, because the patterns that we have are inherited from parents, schools, experiences, traumas. So most of the people had might not have the chance to choose the patterns.
Yes, yes.
So
That's
PSYCH-K
true.
is a way to create your own patterns that
Yeah.
makes your life
And,
fantastic.
is it difficult to change these beliefs and these situations that many times you want to change some situations where we are not really happy? So is the process difficult or easy, quick?
So changing beliefs and patterns may be very difficult if you don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Because for many decades we worked on repetitions, which of course it takes a lot of time and it's very difficult.
That's
because if you don't like what you repeat, of course you don't get what you want.
Yeah.
PSYCH-K is another approach. It's very, very fast. It's very simple
Mhm.
because it's a process. You have a procedure, you have the instructions, you just have to read and do what is written step by step. And it triggers each process, each PSYCH-K process that we call balance. It triggers a fast learning modality of our brain.
Okay.
And each of us, by nature, has this fast learning modality. It is triggered spontaneously when we have a trauma. We immediately learn something
Yeah.
out of a
Yes.
trauma.
Yeah.
But this just tells us that we have this capability in
The
our
possibility,
brain.
Yeah.
So in PSYCH-K we do use this natural capability to actually to learn through a fast learning modality what we need
Yes.
to feel better.
Yes.
So it's very simple, it's very fast, it's very stable.
Wow, very interesting. There are many techniques, motivational techniques, positive thinking techniques. How PSYCH-K is different from all these other models of techniques that are used very often?
Yeah, in many ways.
Yes.
You're right. There are so many techniques that doing comparison is almost impossible. So, what are the characteristics of PSYCH-K? So first, it's very, very fast. It's very simple. It's very stable. The results that you get are there forever, basically, or until you decide that you want to change them once again. It's very respectful because we can either work in pairs, like me and you together, or we can work with ourselves. But the process is very, very gentle and it's very respectful of the person that is doing the change. And it is respectful at spiritual level because the spiritual side of each of us is always engaged in the process. It's kind of the gatekeeper that makes sure that the change that you are doing is actually for the highest and best good of the receiver.
Yes.
So the facilitator is really on a side. It is just a catalyst of the process to happen, but the responsible of the process is the receiver, and is actually the spiritual part of the receiver that we call the superconscious mind. And that allows changes only in the proper direction and also in the proper amount, because sometimes the direction is right, but I'm not equipped to be there today. I need a gentle pace.
Okay. Listen, I want to ask one thing. It's the planet. We could say the planet is living in a very difficult moment for the wars and for the pandemic we had experienced in last years. Do you think that PSYCH-K can help people in the moment of highly stress and particular moment like this?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Actually, the purpose of PSYCH-K is much wider than just the individual. It's really to contribute to the evolution of the collective consciousness that is made of individuals. So we can work and we do work with PSYCH-K on two levels. So first, the level of the individuals, because each of us has his own stress and perception, and actually PSYCH-K allows you to transform your perception, because the world is outside, the pandemic is outside, but what we actually live is the feeling that we have inside. So we have zero power on what is happening out there, in brackets, but we have 100% of the power about what is happening inside. So if we can change the perception of the events, we can be in peace no matter what. And from this place of inner peace, we can create a world of peace. Otherwise, we will just propagate the stress and this energy of war. So PSYCH-K can really work at individual level, but also the vision is actually to transform the collective consciousness.
And I believe that it can also work about on the emotions, the negative emotions that we all are, experiencing. Even the more I've seen many people that were positive now to be negative because of the situation. So how does it work about emotions? Can we help people with negative emotions and all the situation that the negative emotions can create?
Sure. Yeah, PSYCH-K is very, very powerful to transform our emotions, actually to understand what an emotion is for, because emotions have a purpose. So they tell us something inside of us that we need to transform and shift and digest. So in this moment, humanity is facing a huge transformation in terms of quality and quantity and timing.
Yes.
So emotions are really popping up one after the other in a very kind of aggressive fashion, but it's just emotions are just an invitation to look within and transform our inner wounds that resonate with that external situation. So emotion is just something that tells us you have a wound that you have to heal and to transform. And by transforming ourselves, we reduce, we can go into a neutral state of consciousness and where we can actually be in peace no matter what.
Good. You have spoken about the brain. So what is the so-called whole brain state? And what's the effect of to be in whole state brain?
This what happens in a PSYCH-K process that we call balance is actually a transformation in our brain, because these patterns are implemented by neurological circuits. So when we are in stress, as you said before, it means that we are not using our full brain potential. So the opposite of being in stress is being in this whole brain state, which means I have access to both hemispheres, to their full capabilities. Both hemispheres communicate with each other in an optimal way. They are synchronized, they are in coherence. So be in a whole brain state is exactly the result of a PSYCH-K balance. And being a whole brain state is the opposite of being in stress. And being whole brain state means accessing and using our full brain potential. And this is the result of each and every PSYCH-K balance.
And when you are in this state, it remains forever. When you work on a negative emotion or a state that disturb the person, so you give to the brain the possibility to communicate, and the person can immediately feel the result, can be more, how can I say, can feel the this communication.
Sure,
So it can
sure.
be more, yeah.
Sure, because
So the effect is
immediate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Immediate.
The effect of a balance is immediate, because a balance lasts a couple of minutes because we are activating a fast learning modality. So the benefit is immediate, and but I could give you many examples. You know, people afraid of the elevator, and after a balance, they just exit the room and took the elevator without even realizing that they were on the elevator, because it's a pattern, that a negative pattern that was replaced by a self-supporting pattern. So it's immediate and it lasts forever. As far as the topic that was balanced, of course, I am now in whole brain state with the elevator, but if I am afraid of spiders, I have to do another process. But after a balance, I am in whole brain with the elevator, and I will be forever.
So it's soon possible to check.
Yeah, sure. You can double check the benefits in 2 minutes. Yeah, wonderful. Right away.
So now I'm curious how we can learn PSYCH-K.
Yeah.
What are the possibilities to learn?
To learn. So learning PSYCH-K is simple, because the idea of PSYCH-K is actually that it has to be available for everybody, because we are in a very challenging time for everybody, and very, very fast challenges, one after the other. Yeah. Sometimes you don't even have the time to solve the last one, and the next one is already knocking on your door. So it's very fast, and so the best way to actually benefit of PSYCH-K is learning it. Of course, I also do sessions with people, but if you just receive a session, if you have another problem, you have to book another session. So the best way would be actually to be independent. And learning PSYCH-K is very simple, because there are workshops that are made for that. It's a 3 days workshop that we call basic workshop. And with this workshop we can learn 2 very simple and effective processes to transform the subconscious mind, and you can learn how to do it with yourself and with your dear ones, be partners, family members, friends. So in a very friendly environment, the process is very gentle, very friendly. And so after these 3 days, you know the processes, you know how to use it with yourself and with others, and you know how to apply them in your daily life, because you must know more about just the steps. You have to know how to apply them.
Yeah, of course.
So there are very, very, very effective guidelines about how to discover in your life where you have limiting patterns, and how to apply the balances to transform them.
And in 3 days this is possible.
Yeah, 3 days are very, very practical. I'll give more information, of course, some theory about the brain and the beliefs and the mind and blah blah blah, but very, very little, because we need practical experiences to learn.
Of course.
And in 3 days you can have them. I've just finished a basic workshop now, and people were.
So thank you very much, because I know that you just finished the basic workshop.
But it's funny for me, you know. Of course it takes me energy, but it gives me a lot of energy, a lot more than what I give. So I am delighted when I teach, because people in the room shift already during the workshop, and they leave the workshop full of hope, you know, because the hope is we can forgive ourselves if we waste the time and money, but if we waste hope, we can't.
Yes.
You know, there are so many disillusions in these days that we really need to give people something that works. and I'm very comfortable when I teach Psych-K because I know it works and people are
Yeah, I
happy.
see the light in your face. And you did a big change because you left your job and then you decided because maybe you felt that Psych-K was the real way to follow
Yeah,
for the change.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
There's something that inside can be experienced for the change, and when the time is ready, it's very easy to understand the way to follow. Thank you very much. Just last question. Do you teach in Italy and in Europe? There is a calendar. You have a website.
Yeah.
So, can you tell about us about the calendar and where are the places where you teach?
Where to find me?
Yeah,
So,
the base.
I teach everywhere, but mostly, let's say, mostly in Italy and in English-speaking country, in
Okay.
French-speaking country. I teach in Europe, I teach in the Emirates, I teach in Africa, and these are the places where I am. And I teach wherever I am invited to teach, and there is a group of people
Okay.
that is willing to learn. So
Wow.
my agenda is almost full for 2020, for next year already. But there are always some places where I can put another thing because I love this Psych-K and this life so much that it's not an effort to travel around and have fun in
So,
teaching and learning.
Yeah, so we can find another place in the world to go and to teach
Sure.
Psych-K. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be very happy.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll do my best because I think Psych-K has to be spread out because
Yeah.
it's very very strong technique and for the moment we live, it's very important for the people to get a balance and to be more confident about positive things. So thank you very much,
Thank you.
and let's see to the next video.
We put a seed and let's see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yes,
We
yes.
put the intention to
Yes,
spread Psych-K
yes.
in more and more places.
We have to, I think.
Thank you, Donata, for this interview, and thank you for listening, and maybe see you in real life, not just in
Yes.
the virtual world.